Hello all, welcome to the Flight FX Cessna Citation X, a brand new aircraft that's been released for Flight Simulator 2024 and 2020, just in case you're still playing that. And the aircraft has a few notable features. Rather beautiful looking aircraft, comes with a winglet and a non-wingleted version. The model is fantastic, plenty of liveries for your choosing. Aircraft is capable of Mach 0.92, also 51,000 feet of altitude, which makes for slightly shorter journey times depending on where you're flying. Now the aircraft, as I've said, it does look absolutely brilliant. The aircraft has plenty of features. You can have an auto throttle, you can not have an auto throttle, depends on what you prefer. There's an option via the tablet, which is in the cockpit. This door entry I really like, because it doesn't just force you into the aircraft, you can take a nice little look before you click to enter the aircraft. Unfortunately you can't climb the stairs, but that's a flight sim problem. Now, standout features for the cabin. You have plenty of seating, nice and plush, a great view out the side in case you want to, look out, just see if anyone's skulking around. You have cabinets full of endless crap that you'll never use, hand sanitizer, plastic cups, hankies. Do you really need these things? Somebody modelled these for this aircraft. They even modelled a microwave. They spent the time and effort to make a microwave. Now, there's lots of stuff in these cabinets. Obviously none of it can actually be used. I think it's mainly just a role-playing kind of, it just looks nice kind of thing. You can also add passengers to the aircraft via the tablet as well. We don't have them on right now, but that's just purely because, well, they kind of get in the way and, they don't make a lot of noise. They're quite quiet even when they're talking. But that is what it is. Anyway, we've got lots of nice things in this cabin. It's a great model. The aircraft looks fantastic. The sliding cockpit door's pretty nice. The fact that you can take the stairs down, put the stairs up, brilliant. Now you can't play about with the shades on the windows unfortunately, but that's just, one of those things. Now, do I think that the aircraft is worth the price? So far, yes, absolutely. I'm not a huge fan of business jet aircraft. However, there's something about this one that just nice. I think it's just the fact that, you can get up to 51,000 feet. It's pretty satisfying being able to fly up that high. There's not very many other aircraft you can use. Now, there's probably some other pay-wear aircraft that you can get that will probably be able to do that alongside this one. But it's just so cool. It's very classic, very kind of retro looking almost. Inside the cockpit, you've got options for LCD, for CRT TVs. You can swivel this little tablet. It's got a map. You can link it to Navigraph. You can mess about with the weights, control schemes. You can change it from cold and dark. You can make it ready for taxiing, ready for takeoff through the tablet. You've got the auto throttle module as well. Plenty of different options, along with calibrating your stick or your HOTAS so that you can change your detent type areas. Fantastic aircraft. The features are endless. Lots of buttons are clickable, and if you're really into clicking buttons in the cockpit and not knowing what you're doing, then this aircraft is probably for you. Pretty easy to use autopilot. Loads and loads of different options. Now, the one thing that I will find is that the EFB integration with the flight plan doesn't quite work as I was expecting. I think it will take a direct to approach to your airport or the runway you're going to, but it doesn't quite give you the full flight plan, which is a bit of a pain. Here you can see that we have made it to, well, not quite, but we're nearly there, okay? The auto throttle is armed here. We can see that it's taken us up to 51,000 feet. So the autopilot works based on the FMS. I noticed from a climb, from basically sea level to 50,000 feet, very smooth, no difficulty whatsoever. Highly recommend it. You don't need it, but it's there. Okay, so at the start of the video, you probably noticed the aircraft skipping off the end of the runway. Now, we were in Saba then, we're in Saba now. So this airport is obviously very, very short. Well, the runway is at least. So, what happens when you take the jet here? Well, that happens. So even with full spoilers, with full reversers, full toe brakes, the aircraft is not going to stop in this runway. Not unless you've got a headwind, potentially, but that's kind of cheating in my opinion. So yeah, it's not suited for this type of airport. It's suited for, long haul, private, VIP transport. So you probably don't expect a really small runway for that kind of thing. Anyway, it breaks the landing gear here, and yeah, that's kind of it. But it still manages to generate enough thrust for takeoff again, which is alright, it's not too bad. Now, again, like I said, the aircraft probably does suit, regional or normal airports more than tiny runways in the middle of the ocean somewhere. This is Prestwick we're at. We're landing here, pretty nice, a bit of a nice long flare. Bit of a long rollout, kinda missed the touchdown zone, but that's fine, we weren't really aiming for pretty. And here's a nice view from the inside. One thing that I've really noticed is if it is raining, the windshield, or not the windshield, but I guess the window rain effects are a bit weird. You can see the rain's kind of streaming along the inside window. Yeah. Don't know if that's meant to happen. Probably not. It does look cool though. Nice particle effects when you start touching down in the rain of the aircraft. Now, I don't know if that's the sim or the aircraft realistically, but you can kind of get a sense of the motion of the aircraft here quite well. You can see pitching forward under braking force, and you can see particle effects appearing as the reversers start to push the rain off the runway. Pretty cool in my opinion, looks really nice. So anyway, it comes time for the final opinions. I love this aircraft. It was very, very well worth the money. In terms of its looks, I'm going to give it a 5 out of 5. Brilliant, absolutely fantastic cockpit and exterior model. The sound design is also brilliant as well. The aircraft performs really well, climbs brilliant, great that you can get up to Mach 0.92 and 51,000 feet, which is not something all of these aircraft can do. Is it value for money? Yes, in my opinion. If you enjoy any sort of business jets, you'll probably love it. Anyway, let me know what you think down in the comments below if you've purchased the aircraft or if you haven't. And remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.